All right, thank you, everyone. Again, so the focus this evening is to see how far we can go. We hope to get to a point this evening where everyone who is serious will be able to now practically begin the journey to his or her own personal financial freedom. And underline what I said, begin the journey. So in the course of the conversation today, I think the ending point for us today will be that point where each person will have a homework, something that you're going to take back to go and do, something you're going to work on your own by yourself, so that in the subsequent meeting, we can begin to build on them. And that is why I have titled this for this evening to be Financial Freedom Starts Here. And so that financial freedom starts here. We're going to see what that means as we progress into this conversation, right? And so we'll also be looking at three key areas, three key ingredients, if you want to call it that way, that will help us to kickstart this journey to financial freedom. And so that is the focus this evening. And so we will get into it right away without wasting any further time. So we'll get into that very quickly. Okay, so but before we get into it, as usual, I would like to ask and just something for us to discuss. I have already stated the focus earlier, and as you can see from what we have, there is a general overall focus, which is we want to learn to move from earning to lasting wealth in line with God's principle. I want to believe every one of us is earning currently, or even if you are not even earning, we want to be able to get to the point where you will start earning. But in a way, in one way or the other, I believe everyone on this call is earning something, right? But specific objective, as I mentioned earlier, 3 areas we'll be looking at this evening. Now, number 1 is we'll be talking about the mindset and clarity. We'll get to know what this means very shortly. Secondly, we'll be talking about wise money decisions making. We also will be looking at this very quickly. And the last thing is your first financial plan. And so these are the 3 areas of focus for this evening: mindset clarity, wise money decision making, and then your first financial plan. And that is where we'll draw the curtain for this evening. So we get into it quickly, but then here comes the first thing that I want us to look at and then discuss. Now, this is a statement I'm making here that solutions are everywhere. Do you agree with it? Do you agree with it that there are solutions everywhere? You can put your response in a chat box. Do you agree that there are solutions everywhere? I mean, there are solutions, there are money solutions everywhere. Do you agree with this statement? Let me see your response in the chat box. I'm waiting. Okay. Toby said yes. I am expecting everyone to respond yes. Fred, yes. Gift, yes.
Sorry, Mr. Fred said no.
Okay, Fred, okay, Mr. Fred said no. Okay. Tolu and me said yes. Others, I want to see your response. I want to see what do you think? I am saying that there are solutions everywhere. Do you agree? Okay. Something said I don't think we get solution everywhere. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we get solution everywhere. Okay. The rest of us, we are not saying, see, no one should sit on the fence, right? No one should sit on the fence. So I let it be interactive. There are solutions everywhere. Do you agree? Okay, so is this few people that have responded? Sir?
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically, it's okay. You know, when the doctors are speaking, theoretically, yes. Okay, theoretically, yes. Okay, Pastor, why you said I am trained not to say yes or no to some questions because solutions to what? Okay, solutions to, I actually did mention that money solutions are everywhere. So that's what I mean. This solution now is money solutions are everywhere. Taufik say yes, sir. Okay. All right. So there are, okay, 2 or 3 of people did not really say yes or no. Then somebody said no. So, okay, so the person that said no, you want to tell us the reason? Or maybe, and then people that said yes, maybe one person will tell us, why do you think it's yes? And then why do you think it's a no? So very quickly.
Okay.
So why say
So,
yes?
so if you say solutions are everywhere,
Yeah.
then that means we will not be on this platform.
Okay, that means we will not be on this platform. Okay.
Yeah.
So if solutions
That's
are
just,
everywhere, we should not be here. Okay.
yes. It means we would have gotten the solutions we were looking for, because so many of us have tried several things,
Yeah.
things, and we know it didn't land us in the right place. And saying solutions are everywhere also means there are helps everywhere, and we know that there are no help everywhere. Help is not everywhere.
Okay, thank
So
you.
when you have it on
Help
your
is not
chart, my friend,
everywhere.
the ORV shows you the high of the first 15 minutes and
Okay,
also
so
the low
whose
of
hand
the.
is raised? Yeah, Toby.
Isn't it, please, can you mute? Thank you. So I was going to say I said yes, and the reason I said yes, I'll say it in response to also Brother Fred. When I noticed that when we prayed for the person that was going to minister to us, and we didn't pray for our own selves to receive the understanding. Because no matter what God is going to give us, if we do not have understanding, if we've not acquired knowledge to a particular point, we might not be able to receive it. Just because solutions are everywhere doesn't mean that we've attained where we can get solutions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So thank you very much. I think I will take those 2, except if there is any further person that want to speak. So I'll take those 2 so that we can progress. Now, see, solutions are everywhere, but there is a reason why we are not either not seeing them or we are unable to leverage on them and then tailor the solution to suit us. Now, solutions are everywhere, but transformed minds are not. See, minds that are transformed to be able to see the solution and identify solutions are very, very limited. You know, even within this space, when we started this conversation, right? You know, some people have tried to reach out to me, and what they're asking is something that looks like an already made answer, that they'll just go to somewhere and go and plug it and then run with it. And I tell them, say, look, even if I have something like that and I give it to you, it will still not help you, because you will try to use it, you will face a challenge, but because your mind has not been transformed to be able to withstand the challenge, at the end of the day, you say, this thing doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not for people like me. See, the reason is because your mind has not been transformed. And that is why, so people that are trying to chat me privately and say, oh, just give us something. Oh, we thought that you just give us something and we can just go and plug and run with it. Now, if it's that simple and that easy, everybody will experience financial freedom. If you think that somebody out there can just build something and just give to you, just run with it without you having a transformed mind, see, you are bound to keep struggling until thy kingdom come. And that is why I'm advocating, and I keep telling us that let our focus first of all be here. Let's learn and understand the basics, so that when it now gets to the practical aspect, you'll be able to execute whatever it is you need to execute and then be able to break through. So if the mind is not transformed, regardless of how good the solution is, that mind will still have difficulty implementing that solution. And so my encouragement to everyone again on this call is have an open mind. Let your mind be here. Now, don't be in this meeting and be passive. Let your focus be here so that at the end of it, your mind will be better off. My next question is this. If money is not a limitation, now, what is one thing you will start doing from tomorrow? I need an answer also to this in the chat box, or you unmute yourself and tell me, or you raise your hand and then we ask you to unmute, you tell us. If money is not a limitation, just assume now that money is not a limitation. What is that one thing that you will start doing from tomorrow? I'm waiting for your response.
Me, immediately I had that question, my brain has gone 360 degrees.
Your brain has gone.
360 degrees.
Okay.
I would just say, Toby, please send me an invitation letter so that I'll get my visa and be in the US.
Your voice is sounding far away from your phone now.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. If money was not a limitation, I'll just ask Toby to send me an invitation letter, right? And then next thing I'm going to the US embassy, get my visa, and just travel. And secondly, start processing my second citizenship so that I can travel without much restrictions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Interesting. That sounds interesting, right? Yeah, Taufik, you raise your hand, unmute yourself and speak. Then after you, we'll take Toby. Yes, Taufik.
Okay, yes. For me, I like to have a salon, like a big salon. And first of all, I would want to, what's it called? If money is not a limitation, I would invest in what's it called, salon business and all. So yes, that's number one. And also, I would like to pay for some professional courses to improve more on what I do to some extent. So that's it.
Okay.
And now, last one, sorry.
Okay.
It has been in my mind since this year began. I wish to just travel to a country. Yes.
Okay. Travel again. Yeah, travel. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, Toby, let's hear you.
Thank you, sir. If money was not a limitation, I have a $1 million idea.
Okay.
That has the potential to make that and more. I have a business plan. I think I'll implement my idea immediately and connect to the people that are able to help me because I need money to connect to them.
Yeah, if not, you're not done.
I'm done, sir.
Okay, so
it's just about my business. It's just about my idea.
Beautiful, beautiful. Your idea, then I want to travel. I want to process second citizenship. I want to open my business also, which is also speak to business ideas. I want to be able to. Fantastic, fantastic. So I'm not seeing any further hand. And I don't think anybody has dropped anything in the chat box. And so I will progress. Keep this in your mind. Or there's another question. The next question is, so when you hear the word financial freedom, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? So for you, when you hear the word, these two words, financial freedom, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you? Response, 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 response. Is these hands I'm seeing, are they new hands or the one you've raised before?
I have a new hand. Bradford
Okay, that's a new hand.
Yes, Bradford said, I would empower everyone who has a need around me. Pastor Basil said, there is no restriction to what you intend to do with finance. I think that is financial freedom.
Okay.
Financial freedom for me means that I can influence people and I can influence nations.
Okay, financial freedom to you means you can influence people, then you can influence nations. Fantastic.
Then Alison said capability to access certain resources at any particular time.
Capability to access any resource or any resources at any particular time. Okay, wonderful. Any other person that wants to tell us, when you hear this word financial freedom, what comes to your own mind? What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Any other person? Any other person? Don't worry, I'll tell you what I think about all these questions as we progress. But I want to hear our perspectives. I want to hear our view so that others can also learn from you. Okay, Brother Fred said, freedom from a poverty mindset. Freedom from a poverty mindset. Okay, Toby, I saw your hand again. You want to read what Brother Fred said,
I wanted to read, yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So once you see a chat and you want to read, you can just, particularly when we're having a discussion, you can just read it and then we'll pick it from there.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I'm not seeing any other hand, and then no other message has dropped in the chat box. So we proceed. As I mentioned, I will tell you my own view about these questions we are discussing. And the last question for now, because there will be more as we progress, is now, what then is financial freedom? So this is similar to what I have asked you before. And so now I want to now show us what I have put down to be financial freedom. And I have two definitions I want to give us, but they are very similar. So financial freedom is having control over your money and using it with purpose to live well, give wisely, and make choices that align with your values and goals. Now, note that it's not just about having money. Now, you've been able to get to a point that you have control over the money you have, and you are using the money with purpose to live well, give wisely, and make choices that align with your values and goals. Now, meaning you are not just going to be making choices based on situations and what maybe is just happening around you. Now, your choices, regardless of whatever is the financial implication of what is happening around you, you have your values, you have your goals, and you'll be able to go after them anyway. So whether dollar is going up or dollar is coming down, it does not really affect you being able to actually make decisions that align with your values and your goals. Take note of this one. Then the second one is financial freedom is the ability to live the life you desire. The life you desire without being limited by money. It means having enough income, savings, and investment to cover your living expenses and lifestyle choices, whether you actively work for money or not. And take note, this is very important. I take this again. The ability to live the life you desire, not just anything that comes, not just situational lifestyle, without being limited by money. It means having enough income, savings, and investment to cover your living expenses and lifestyle, with whether you actively work for money or not. So this means whether you decide to retire from active work and then you are just living your life passively, you will still be able to meet and fund your lifestyle with the income from your investments and your savings. At that point, you can say, I am experiencing financial freedom. And there are core elements from these definitions I have given us now, and I want to highlight just a few. One, no financial stress. I mean, if you are at that point, you are not worried about how to pay bills or handle emergencies. That is not, in fact, that is not your headache. Because God has helped you to get to a point where paying your bills is no longer an issue to you. Now, it means you are free from debt, or you have what we call manageable debt. Manageable debt are debt that are backed up by securities or backed up by assets. I mean, you use the debt to fund an asset that is also generating income for you. So you are not controlled by loans or credit card. The third element is passive income. Your investments or side business generate income even when you are not actively working. At that point, you can say, yes, I'm truly experiencing financial freedom. Number 4, flexibility. You can make choices like traveling, as we discussed at the early stage, changing jobs, or even decide to retire early based on what you desire, not situational. That means you decide, you are in control. So my decision as to what I do part-time, what I focus on part-time, is not driven by money, is driven by what I value, is driven by what I desire to do. And the final one is purposeful spending. I mean, you use money in ways that align with your values and purpose. And so it's not about whether this thing that is my purpose is expensive or require a huge amount of capital to do. You will be able to fund it anyway because you've gotten to that point where finances is not the problem, as it were. So if you are experiencing this, you can now say, I have attained this level called financial freedom. Now, several of us, or some of us, are different level in this journey to financial freedom. Some are just starting, some have started, some are in the middle, some have progressed. And so, but collectively, the whole idea here is that understand the concept. Now, having understood the concept, we can now begin to talk about, okay, where is the starting point? Okay, this is the starting point. What do I need to do to start? Now, why this matters is, and why it matters you understand this concept, first of all, is because 8 out of 10 people struggle financially. Now, and this, hello? Hello? Okay, I thought someone was saying something. Now, why this is important is this. 8 out of every 10 people or every 10 persons struggle financially. And you look around you, look around your community. Those who are wealthy, those who are, even though you don't really know a lot of people, but those who are in the wealthy category are always in a minority. You know, the reason is because most of the financial knowledge or financial information or money ideas that a lot of people have are wrong. So the money idea in the minds of several people are wrong. And that is why it's over that several people are always in a lack position. Now, the second thing I would also like us to consider, the reason why this is important, is because God calls us to stewardship and wise management. And if you read Luke 16:11, it says, if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches? And that's why you see that there are a lot of Christians who desire to actually make kingdom impact. They want to make kingdom investment, but they discover that they are limited. They can't do what they wish to do. They can't make the kind of contribution they would have loved to make. It's because they have not been able to understand how to manage this worldly wealth. This thing called money, the idea a lot of people have about money is wrong. And we will see as we progress. And that is the reason why majority are always either in the lower class or they are poor. Because the money ideas, the money understanding that everybody has is wrong. And then I also would like to say to us that, see, early action, the earlier you start, the easier the journey to financial freedom is. Take, for example, if I decide to set a financial plan in motion for my son now, by the time my son gets to my age, he should be financially free. But assume that I have not started anything for myself and I want to be financially free. Now, imagine how many years it's going to take me from now. But what is most important now is it is not too late to start. So we need to get to a point this evening where every person should be willing to embark on that journey. Now, the second aspect of our conversation this evening is mindset and clarity. And the scripture rightly put it, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. See, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And this is very profound. Now, financial freedom begins with right mindset and clarity. I repeat, financial freedom begins with right mindset and clarity. And what do we mean? Let's now look at this discourse. Now, what is your mindset about your current income in relation to savings and investment? I need an answer for this. If you look at the income you earn currently, you consider savings and investment, and then you are looking at how much expense you need to meet on a monthly basis. Now, what is your mindset about that, your income, in relation to savings and investment? I want a response. Do you think that the income you earn currently is enough to take care of your expenses and then you still be able to invest and save from it? I want to hear your view. What is your mindset about your current income in relation to savings and investment? I need responses, please. I'm awaiting your response. Maybe I'll need to start calling our names so that I can get quick response and save time. So I'm waiting for your response. What is your mindset about your current income in relation to savings and investment? You think with what you earn now, you'll be able to save and invest, looking at how much bills and expense you need to incur on a monthly basis? I need an answer, or we should end the class or the conversation here today. I need you to talk to me. I need you to talk to me.
Brother said this is a difficult question.
Why is it difficult? Why is it difficult?
Pastor Basil said, I've come to learn that it is not about the volume, but the intentionality of putting aside something from what I earn.
Yeah, it's not about the volume, it's intentionality. Yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, any other comments or anybody want to speak? I really need your response. I need your response.
Christy said, my mindset is that income is not even enough. Talk less of savings and investment. Especially when the pension and the tax has been deducted. Brother said, I think a response to, is the response, it's enough to some extent.
Okay, it's enough to some extent. Other people on this call are not saying anything. I want to see, don't be passive. This is a conversation. Don't be passive. Nimi, from the student fold, I need you to say something. I need you to say something. And I see a lot of us here, I think I'm seeing, some people here who are just silent. I don't want to start calling people's name, but I would love to hear your view. I would love to hear your perspective to these things. All right. But since nobody is speaking for that, is someone saying something?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Okay, thank you so much. My mindset about the current income, though some of us doesn't have that proper current income because we are in the student level. But my mindset is about in relation to savings and investment is that currently it's hard to make savings especially with the way things are, come to talk of investment. So that is it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, bro Benjamin. Thank you very much. Okay, so look at what I have now on the screen. Income is never enough to meet the necessary and genuine expenses. Do you agree with that? Do we agree with this? That income is never enough to meet the necessary and genuine expenses. Do we agree with it? I want a yes or no in the chat box, or you just... Is somebody saying something? Nobody is saying anything.
Yes, strongly agree. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Now, you agree that this is a general conception or general view of a lot of people. Income is never enough to meet the necessary and genuine expenses. So, and then, and to add to it, how can we then talk about investment and savings? You see? Now, this is the general perception of a lot of human beings. And you know what? This general perception is wrong. It's very wrong. And that is the reason why a lot of people are not able to get into this financial freedom level in their lifetime because of this mindset. Now, this is not the mindset of the wealthy people. And that is why we say that financial freedom first begins with the mind. It begins with the mind. So you need to now come to a point where you begin to realize and realign in your mind that even though it looks like income is never enough to meet the necessary and genuine expenses, that is not an excuse for me not investing. If you have not come to that point, the journey to financial freedom is going to be very difficult and hard for you. Now, let me ask us another question that is not even here. It's not on the slide, right? Put your mind back to maybe 15, 10, 5 years ago. How much you were earning as salary? Perhaps maybe you were not even earning anything as salary. You were surviving. Whatever you had that time was not enough. And then you kept working, and then your salary, maybe you got another job, your pay doubled. You realize that that double pay is still not enough. And then at some point, they increase your salary again. Then you still realize that even with this increment, after a while, it's still not enough. Then at some other point, you discover that your income is increasing, but you discover that at every stage that your income increase, your expenses also increase along with income. So increase in income is never enough. Now, if you can relate with what I'm saying, put 1 in the chat box. If you can relate with what I have narrated, just put 1 in the chat box. Maybe some years ago, I feel if I'm able to earn this amount, I believe I should be okay. Now, today, you are earning that amount, and it's still not okay. You feel, oh, if only my income can grow from this 200 I'm earning now to 500K, I believe that I should do well. And then all of a sudden, you get another job, and then something happens, you're now earning 500K, and it's like, hey, this is still not enough. If you can relate with this, and in this scenario, please put 1 in the chat box. I want to see if you can relate. If you can relate with what I said, I want to see your response. Nobody is saying anything. Okay, I can see some 1, 1, a 1, 1, 1. Now, if that is true, it means that the problem is not with the income. And I can tell you categorically that income will never be enough to meet your expenses, you can always find a justification for it. And I'm saying to you today, and I'm just praying in my mind that God will help you to understand that this is the general perception of a lot of people, and that's why a lot of people are unable to experience financial freedom. So because now, and I'll ask you another question. Now, whether you decide to save a little or invest a little out of what you earn now, right? The income will still not be able to solve the problem anyway. But my question again now is, if this has been the situation over the years, year in, year out, this has always been the situation. So the question is, what do we do? So what do we do? This is discuss two. This one is not. I will tell you my perspective and I will show us what we need to do, step by step, the things we need to do. But what do we need to do? I want to hear you. So haven't identified that this is always the problem for majority of human beings. And that is why majority of human beings do not experience financial freedom. So what then do we do? Yes, I need you to talk to me at this point. What do we do?
Before Taufik goes ahead, I think we have to comment in the section, comment section. Oluwatobi says the increase is not equivalent to inflation rate per time, so I wouldn't say one. Then Ben said, but I think it is the same for the so-called financial free people.
Okay. All right. I think it's the same for the so-called financial free people. Yes, okay, yeah. Taufik, let's take Taufik. I'll give my feedback to what, and I like those dimensions. Taufik, let's hear you.
Okay, from the question, what do we do?
Yeah.
Because first of all, I know that from the first question you asked about what was it called, how everyone had to say yes. We are first thing that our perspective was wrong towards that. And from this question, what do we do? I'm seeing that yes, we don't know what to do, because if we actually know what to do, the first question wouldn't have come at first. For me personally, I don't know for others.
Don't know what to do. Okay.
Yes,
thank you for this sincere answer. You don't know what to do. Any other comment? Any other comment? Okay, so there's no any other comment, right? Toby, no other comment?
No other comment. I think I'll just give a comment.
Okay.
Maybe for me, I'll say it is the discipline to do what you need to do.
Okay.
For me personally.
All right.
I be the discipline to do what I need to do. Not necessarily because I don't know, but because there has to just be some discipline.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, look at this. The first thing we need to do is complete mindset shift. Our mind needs to shift from what is common. Now, if see that knowledge that is common to every human being and that perception of every human being, if that perception is correct, people should be able to figure out their way out of financial struggles. So if people are aware of these income expenses challenges and everybody is still struggling with it, that shows that there's something that is wrong. Now, and I like the fact that somebody say even the so-called wealthy people struggle with that challenge. See, it's because you've not really met people who are truly wealthy. See, there are people that will go to the supermarket today, they don't think about the bill, they don't look at prices, they don't look at the price label. They pick whatever they need to pick and go and pay and go and get out of the place. Mindset. Now, so when we speak to this mindset, and because I'm talking to Christian, I believe almost everybody on this call is a Christian. Now, I want to ask us a very sincere question. Despite the fact that your income has not been enough to pay your necessary expenses, have you been paying your tithe? I need an answer. I need a yes, no, yes or no. Have you been paying your tithe? For those who are committed, have you been paying your tithe from this income that is not enough? I need response. I need responses now. I need responses. I beg you, I need your response so that we can try and cement this understanding so that we'll be helped. Okay, I could see some messages dropping. Maybe Toby will help me to look at what people are dropping on the chat box.
Okay, sir. Auntie Tosin said, I need a mindset to do the right thing.
Okay.
Taufik said yes, sir, to your question now about the Titan. Bra Fred, yes, sir. Bra Ben, I have a concern based on an encounter with a financially free man.
Okay.
Chrissy said yes, but sometimes skipped.
Okay.
Yes, then I will answer. I struggle to pay my tithe, but I've started paying it, but I still do struggle sometimes. That's the truth.
Okay. But the bottom line is that you do it. I mean, you do it. It's not like you don't do it at all, right? Okay, so bro Benjamin, let me be later when we get to the other discussion session. I would like to hear that encounter you, or you can even say now what's the encounter you have with the financially free person. Maybe you like to share with us so that maybe people can get what that means before I bring in my own perspective.
All right. Okay. Can we hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. The experience I had with quote and unquote financially free person is uh, I think I was in the man's house some years ago with my wife.
Okay.
So a conversation came up, and someone was like telling someone that was in the same room was telling the man that he doesn't have anything to worry about, a lot of money, the children doesn't have anything to bother about. There's a lot of money that they can't even finish. So the man now made a statement. He said that he was telling the person that it's not so, that him, as we see him, has more worries, more stress than he used me as an example. He said than Benjamin. That as I am now or then, that if I can take care of my family, myself, my family, my wife, and all that, that I really might not have much bothering me. But that people of his class, they have more sleepless nights. They run around from time to time, not necessarily to feed themselves, because that's where I have issue. You know, when you define, you said, okay, like you gave example, walk into supermarkets, you can buy things without checking, you can even buy car without checking the price or pricing it. Fine. But I see that even people that now get to that point, they have more stress, because that was the message he was trying to pass, that they have more stress living to maintain a status. That status. Now you are not making money so that you eat food and drive car. Those ones are constant, like you have grown past it.
Yeah.
But you are not working extra hard, having more stress than somebody that doesn't even have enough to be able to keep up your societal level.
To be able to maintain that status.
Yes. And when I was thinking about it, this man came to my mind. Before Dangote has his refinery, he was not so
stressed. But I see that since his refinery started working, the man is getting so stressed. And in quotes, he's financially free. But you see that he's really getting so stressed. Maybe the way me I'm seeing it too. Maybe before he was much chilling. But since his refinery came on stream, the stress I see on him became so much. So that is on that ground I used to ask myself, getting to this point, you might be thinking we might be seeing them that they're financially free and they are not stressed. But I see that sometimes the thing gets even worse stress-wise from that end than even some of us that are just managing, we feed ourselves and all that, and we're trusting God the day we can start living in two rooms and
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I get that point clearly. I'll respond to that. But Toby, you want to say something? I see your hand.
Yes, sir. Maybe based on what Brother Ben just said. I don't know where, I don't know, you know, financial freedom
Mm.
doesn't necessarily mean that you have a lot of money.
Mm.
Wealth as we know it is not just money. Money is just an aspect of wealth. Resources are also there. I know people that are financially free, and I believe that we are Christians. I know people that are financially free and people that are not gotten to the financial level, or myself that have not gotten to the financial level where I want to be. But based on the relationship we have with God, or based on the relationship they have with God, they have peace of mind because peace comes from God. So they might have more responsibilities when you have more money, because there's nothing you do in life. If God gives you more, if God increases you, it means that you have more responsibilities. You might have more responsibility, but it comes with peace. So, you know, at some point I ask myself, when people say that, oh, they are scared of this, or when they have more money, is their source from God? If their source is also from God, are they fully in a relationship with God, or are they fully obedient to God? Because
Thank you
peace
very
is
much.
from God.
Yeah, thank you. God bless you. I saw Brother Friend's hands up. Has he dropped the hand now?
Okay, well, I think what Toby said just now aligned with what I wanted to say. It's completely a different thing to have financial freedom and to have money. The Dangotes of this world, yes, we know that they have the money, but are they truly financially free, as it were? Freedom for me cuts across all aspects of life. When I'm able to use the money for the purpose, like you earlier mentioned. So if there is absence of peace and I'm still looking for money to make a name for myself, or to do this or do this, I don't think that is still financial freedom, because you are still in the rat race. Financial freedom is a state where I'm able to meet my needs without necessarily losing my peace, losing my calm, being agitated and all that. That's for me, that's what it is.
Thank you very much. So, because for the sake of time, thank you. You've spoken well, Brother Ben. Thank you for bringing that, experience. It's helping us to also emphasize things that maybe probably we might not have. Now, if you were in the last session that we held, remember there were some key principles we discussed there as the foundation. I remember I told us something that if resources enter into a man whose heart has not been well formed by God, that money can even destroy the person, even though he has enough money. Now, you see, when you've gotten to a point and it is your money that defined your status, you are not free. You're actually bound to the money. And that's why you see that, financial freedom is having control over your money and using it with purpose. See, at a point when you begin to struggle and you are laboring day and night just because you want to maintain that status, you are not in control. Like the wealth, the riches, and the money is now controlling you. Remember as well that we mentioned in the previous session, maybe those who were not there, you can go and listen to the recording, that one of the fundamental principles of wealth, as we discussed, is that we focus on stewardship, not ownership. Ownership belongs to God. So if God has helped you to come to a point where ownership belongs to God, see, I tell you, you will not struggle even at that level just because you want to keep and maintain the status. You will not struggle because you want to have it all. You want to be the only person that everybody is running to because you want to be able to dominate. At that point, you are not free yet, even though it looks like you have a lot of money now. So financial freedom is not about you having a lot of money. It's about you being in control. It's about you being able to utilize the money with your purpose. You live well, you give wisely, and make choices that align with your values and goals. And I mentioned in the previous week that for us Christians, it is not money that defines our worth. Our worth is not defined by how much we have and how much we do not have. Our identity, our real identity is found in Christ. And so money does not define me. And so you see, and that's why you see people who God has really helped, even though they have billions. Do you know in this country, some of you may struggle to agree with what I'm saying. In this country, there are people that have more money than Dangote, that we don't know that. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. God will help us. We will talk more on this subsequently. But we need to run so that we can wrap up and get to a point where everybody will need to take a decision to begin to do something about your own financial freedom, right? If you have questions, keep the questions. We will have a session for questions and answer, right? So what is your mindset about money? I think we've discussed this, right? This is where we are. So what we are saying, complete mindset shift. Now, meaning that mindset that keeps telling us that this money is not enough. This money is not enough. This money is not enough. So there's nothing to invest. There's nothing to save. And then you keep struggling every year in, year out. We need to break that mindset this evening. See, here is it. Imagine in your mind that if I decide to take 5,000, even 10,000 or 20,000 out of what I earn, let's say I decide to take 5% of what I earn, 10 or 15% of what I earn, and put it into my savings and into my investment. Imagine in your mind that what you earn currently, if you decide to just say, okay, I take this 10,000 and just put it in an investment, how much of your lifestyle will that affect? But do you know that if you start saving 10,000 naira every month and you put it in a good investment every month, in the past 10, 15 years, by now, by today, you are now a millionaire. But there are times that you even, in the course of the month, you buy things worth 10,000 that you did not plan for. It was never in your plan. You just went somewhere, you saw something, it was never in your plan, you bought it anyway. And so, have you ever spent money? And I want you to be serious. Have you ever spent money? You went out, you spent money. You took money from the house. You went out, you spent the money. And then when you return and then you discover that you check the money, and it's like the money is there. You're wondering, how? Did I lost money? Or did I throw money away somewhere? Then you sat down, you carry your note and you start calculating and the money is complete. Have you ever had that experience? Have you ever had that kind of experience that you went out with a some amount of money and then when you return home and you look at your pocket or your purse, it's like I lost money. But when you sat and you begin to calculate, the money is complete. Have you had that experience? So that simply means that you went out, you spent the money on even things that you actually did not plan. You didn't plan for those things. So at the end of the month, you say, well, this money is not enough. So if you can have money to buy the things that you did not actually plan for, what tells you that you can't have money to set aside to pursue your goal? Some of us have a goal that we have been nurturing for the past 10 years. But since that 10 years, you've never taken any practical step to do something that will help you to achieve that goal. And if you check, most of the goals that we are not achieving today, the fundamental reason is money. There's no enough cash. I don't have enough money to pursue this goal. I have this idea that I want to bring to life. I do not have the money to chase it. If I have money today, I would love to do this. You've carried that idea now for the past 10 years. And for the past 10 years, you've not taken any action to solving the problem. Sometimes your mindset is on the externalities. Maybe you are looking for somebody out there to come and help you solve the problem. And today, that mindset, you need to shift it. You need to shift, and what we will do is not difficult. You first need to agree that, look, if this idea that everybody agrees with has always led to struggle and inadequacies in our finances, then we need to do something about it. We need to change that idea and change it to something that works. And that is where I want us to get to. We need to get to that point, right? So before financial freedom happens in your wallet, it has to happen in your mind. So a complete mindset shift means seeing money differently, not as something to chase, but something to control and direct toward what matters to you. So you need to begin to direct your money from today, from this month, to what matters to you, what matters to you most. Channel your money that way. In the next 5 years, you will thank God that you decide to take that decision. And how do we go about that? See, the Bible says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And that is what I'm trying to help you to see. Let freedom happen to your mind today. Let freedom happen to your mind today. So let freedom first happen to you where? First, in your mind. You need to come to that point of seeing and knowing that this strategy of money not always enough, and then I'm unable to save and invest has not worked for me in the past 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, 20 years. I need to change it. You need to tell yourself that truth, right? Now, before I begin to talk about wise money decision, because this is the crux of the matter now. This is where we'll discuss and lead us to take practical action. Individual, every one of us will go back home today on your own, sit down and begin and do something practically to kickstart your own journey to financial freedom. But before I say this, I want to re-emphasize, and I want to say it again. If the idea we have carried over the years that my salary is never enough for my needs, so I can't save and invest, has never produced any result for me, it has not brought me out of financial struggle, then something is wrong with that general idea. And I have told us before that the general idea, the general money ideas that people have is wrong. That is why a lot of people are not making money enough to solve their problem, their life's problem. So how do I now get to a point where I'll be able to make wise money decision? The next focus. How? The first thing you need to do is begin by identifying what truly matters to you. If I know for sure that, look, the purpose, what God has called me to do, for example, is to start a foundation where I can fund less privileged education fee, or where I'll be able to provide medicals for people. I'll be able to provide technology assistance to people. If I have identified that is my core calling, that is my core purpose, I don't have the means now. But from today, I decide I don't even want to know how much, even if it's 5,000 every month, I can now put aside for this purpose. From this day, I will put it. At least by the end of 1 year, I would have been able to put aside 60,000 naira for that course. Right. But you've got to start from somewhere. So the beginning point is identify what truly matters to you. So don't just channel your money to all expense that comes that look genuine, look reasonable, look urgent. And that has been the struggle over the years. Be able to control your money and channel it to what matters to you. So prioritize your list. Second thing is then know your income and expenses. Now, this sounds very basic and plain, but it will shock you that a lot of you listening to me now, you think that you know your expenses. You might know your income quite all right, because maybe most of the time, maybe your income is just coming from one source. But your expense has many pikin, have many children, have many outlets. So sometimes you don't really know your expense. So, but if you must begin this journey to financial freedom, you need to sit down, articulate, this is my income. Articulate what your expenses are. You must articulate them. And it will shock you what has even been taking your money away all the while that you think are very necessary. Sometimes when you sit down and you take note of your expenses, you will realize that some things that you have been spending money on every year in, year out, more in, month out, every day, that you think are necessity, if you take them out of your expense, nothing will happen to your life. In fact, your lifestyle will not even change. But do that exercise. So first, begin by identifying what truly matters to you. Now, and in doing this, no, because again, I'm talking to Christians, you do it in order of, okay, what matters to me? Okay, what are my tithe? What is my tithe? What are my givings? And then before you even begin to talk about your expense. So after you pay your tithe, after you've done your givings, then take out what you intend to invest or save. Then whatever is left, plan your expense on that. That is the beginning point. And then this will now lead us to what I call your first financial plan. Because a lot of people desire financial freedom. A lot of people desire to improve their finance, but they've never had any financial plan. They don't have a documented financial plan for their lives. They don't have a financial plan for their family. So now, you need to now document one for yourself that you call, by the grace of God, I have sat, God has given me wisdom. This is my financial plan. This is what I'm going to be working with. And you know what? The very basic, the very beginning point that everyone should start with is what I call budget. Budget. Remember in the last session, I mentioned it passively. Budget. Budget. And budget is simply you planning your income and your expenses wisely. Planning your income and your expenses wisely. And now, what I want every one of us to do is this. After you prioritize all those, your expenses, I want you to now be able to document your first financial plan for yourself. And that is what I call a budget. And how do you go about it? What are the steps to documenting your first financial plan? These are the steps. Number one, list all sources of income, salary, allowances, side hustle, whatever comes to you as income. If you know you have a source of income every month that maybe like gift, people give you, and you can estimate it, list all those sources of income, pull them down on the paper, or type them in an Excel sheet in your computer, or whatever whichever way you want to capture it is okay. Then you need to list all your monthly expenses, and you should be able to separate your needs from your wants. You need to list all your monthly, I say all, including recharge card, data expense, anything you spend money on, water, bread, whatsoever it is. If you like, you can put all of them in a class and call them food item, or call them snacks, call them gross, whatever name you want to call them. But what is important, capture everything. Capture everything. And then include in your budget your savings target. How much do I want to save this month? And I've told you the order of priority for those who are really, really serious, who are ready to go on this journey to financial freedom. The order should be God first. I pay God first. After I pay God, then I pay myself. Now, this pay myself is you pay your future, pay your tomorrow by setting aside how much you intend to invest, how much you intend to save, and then whatever is left, that is what I will plan my expense on. Don't mind if it's not enough. Don't anyway, it has not even always been enough. So you're already used to it not being enough, but never mind. See, by the time you do this consistently for 3 months, going forward, see, your life will adjust, your mind will adjust, things around you will adjust. See, it will even amaze you how other things around you begin to adjust to your plan. And then you allocate available funds wisely. And I've told you the order of allocation: God, your future, or your dreams, or your purpose, or your vision. Then plan the rest on your expense. And then after you document this, every month you review it and you adjust. Every month you review and adjust. And this is what I want everyone on this call to do. If you have not done this for yourself or done this for your family, you need to do it. I'm not saying do it and bring for me to see. I'm not interested in seeing how much income you earn. I am not interested in seeing how much you spend. But those who will be willing and free enough to say, look, I really want to figure my way out of this financial mess. I need to be able to get to a point where I can say, look, I will look back and thank God that I am on this call. If you want, for example, if you want to share whatever you've documented, if you want to share with me, feel free. You can send to me privately. I will look at it. I will give you my feedback, right? But what is more important to me is that everyone on this call, before the next contact point, you should have a simple and a basic financial plan. Simple and basic, that has at least all these elements. There are other means of doing financial plan that we can talk about later, but this is one thing is basic, just basic. Your income, list your expenses, and then you track and monitor them. So please, so the journey to financial freedom starts here. This is where it starts. You having a plan. This plan that shows you this is my income. These are my expenses. You are able to track and manage them. See, if you do it month on month, you're going to discover that. You're going to discover that at the end of some months, you're going to see that there are things that are not really necessary for you to spend money, that you'll be spending your money on anyway. Your mind adjusts, and then things around you begin to adjust. And I know there are a lot of questions in our mind. There are a lot of things you want to ask. So let's take now questions and answer. But before we close, I'll give you my final remark, but questions and answer. Now, if you have a question, you can either raise your hand or you drop your question in the chat box, or if you have a comment, this is now the time. Yes. So let me stop my video so that I can see what everybody is dropping. Yes. And then I also will stop sharing at this time. So stop sharing so that, yes, I can be seeing everyone now. Okay, so I can see Brother Benjamin's hand. I can see Taufik. Any other person
There's
that
a
want to ask?
question in the chat box.
Okay. What is the question?
Said, how would this apply to those who do not have regular income, like salary or business?
Okay, so you don't have any regular income, but you have income. So again, so because we are dealing with mindset, no, you have income and you spend money. So the money you spend, how do you get them? On daily basis, you spend money, or on weekly basis, you spend money. That money you spend, where do you get them from? So to the extent that you are spending money, you have income. It may not be that you are working and earning, but there's a way that money gets into your hand. So those money that gets into your hand, see, if you keep record of them, after a while, you will be able to see a pattern. You see a pattern that can now inform how you plan your finances. Even if your income is not regular, at least you know that you have some certain income at some certain point. It's even possible that your own income is dependent on people giving you money. It's okay. But even if what you start with, first of all, even if what you will start with, first of all, is to begin to write, okay, today I spent 5,000. Okay, where did you get that money from? You write down, okay, that money came from so and so. Oh, tomorrow I spent 500. Where did that money come from? From so. See what I'm telling you. It is not what every regular human being out there will want to do. They will tell you, no, this thing is going to be too stressful to do. I can't do it. And that is the reason why a lot of people are poor. That is why a lot of people are struggling financially, because they don't want to do what those who are now wealthy are doing. See, notice what we've done this evening is just to also lay another block on what we've done before. We've not started talking about, okay, if I want to now invest this money I've saved, where can I put it? Where can I invest them? What kind of things can I invest money? No, we have not even started all those conversations yet. We are just laying block, precept, lines upon line, so that everybody's mind is well formed before we begin to talk about those other things that. So if you feel your income is not regular, but the bottom line is you spend money, the money you spend, write them down. Where did the money come from? So that by the end of the month, you could see, okay, this month I spend 300,000 this month. Okay, out of this 300,000, okay, this amount came from so person or came from so sources. This one came from this. And then next month again, you do it. The third month, you do it. After a while, you see a pattern. That pattern will come out clearly. You could see clearly, okay, I think most of my money comes from this side, and most of my money goes to this particular thing. Why do I spend this much money on this? Because the problem, a lot of us don't even know how much money we spend on some items every month. Okay. Any other question in the chat box?
None for now, sir.
Okay, so we'll take now, I'll take Brother Benjamin, and then after that, we'll take Taufik. So Ben, let's hear you.
Okay, can we hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, my question is this, because some of the issues or some of the things you raised, I think they're applicable to me, how to go about this discipline. Okay, first, before I lose touch of some of the things I want to ask is,
You
what
know,
is
the
the
other place.
advice? Sorry? Hello? Am I still being heard?
Yes, bro, Benjamin, continue.
Okay, so I was asking her, what is the advice or recommended percentage one can think of to be is to invest in the future of whatever he earns? That's one. Two, I want to ask, with this, how strict should one be to this budget and plan? Because I tried it. I'm the kind of person that like this issue of planning.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
I can
We
hear
can
you.
hear you now.
We can hear you, sir.
Sorry, you need to repeat what you said. The network threw me out. I just came back in, so I didn't hear what you were saying. Please,
Okay,
you
I was
can.
asking first. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, first I asked, what is the advice percentage one can do for the future, like for the savings? That is one. Two,
Okay.
I want to know, sometimes, like you said, I like having budget and plan, but I discovered, especially when my wife stopped her work, so I was like, okay, now it must work for us to have a budget and plan, something like that. So we had that budget, but I now discovered that after we have made that budget, before you know it, the things we a lot of things that, and when they come, they still look legit. Maybe family, they call house rent, this, they do family meetings. Before you know it, you have also finished spending everything that you will not find any day. So at some point I said, okay, let me even try and and let's do a budget of 2, 3 months ahead, and let me see if I can put it so that it can also help me, because beyond what I plan for family, which are for me that are the primary people, is when I first plan for them, then I will now look at, okay, what is left, what can I do from my own end and all that. But I discovered that by the time I plan, even when we have even putted the budget, okay, this is what we plan, this is the amount to spend for the next 3 months. You discover before 1 month finish, we started spending the upper months. So I don't know how one can be so strict to these things so that this thing can work. Because now, let's say we are now in October, we have started spending November money already in October. Why we have also actually did a budget that's supposed to cover it, but somehow, things will keep coming up to be taking the money once it's available. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is taking Taufik. So that we'll take the questions together, and if there are similar questions, we'll address them together to save time. Taufik.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for allowing me. Okay, the question I wanted to ask at first, I think you already maybe answered it one way, because you said it will be this teaching will be precept upon precept. Because what I actually wanted to ask was, how do I put those my little cash? You mentioned you could put your 10K in a month, and calculating it for some certain, what's it called? It actually brings you to some it actually brings you some certain levels of financial freedom, as it may be. So so I want to change that question, because it looks like maybe it's something I have to meet in the next class or next meeting. So, but I would like to change my question. Okay, let's say, for instance, now I just want to ask concerning value. How one can increase one's value. So, for instance, I'm in point A, and I'm looking at getting to point B. Maybe I say it's a particular product for 2,000 and all of that to some certain people. But yet I feel like what I sell is actually more than the amount I'm actually selling it. But it looks like maybe my packaging or something like that is what is actually troubling me from actually getting to point B, to get to a certain level, to get to a higher value, the point B that I need to get to. So how do I move from point A to point B in terms of value wise? Yes.
Okay. That is noted. Any other hand?
Christy has a message in the chat box. She says, sir, in a situation where some portion of the income has already been deducted, like pension, tax, and small amounts that the company saves till the person resigned or being laid off. That is the question.
So I didn't get the last part. I was talking about small amount.
Sir, in a situation where some portion of the income has already been deducted, like pension, tax, and small amounts that the company saves till the person resigned, or being laid off.
Okay, so in that situation, so what do you do?
Yes, I think that's the question.
What do you do with the remaining small amount of money? Is that what the person is asking?
I think you should complete the question so that.
So are you asking to know, so the remaining small amount they give me, how will I manage it? So what is okay, Christy, speak.
Okay. Good evening, sir, and good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
The question I asked is, some companies do remove some small amount of money from the income and save for the staff. So when the person is going, they give such. So, and the pension has already been removed as well. So how can that person still save? How, whereby the remaining one, by the time you remove the transportation, is nothing again. So I need help on this, please, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So that is also not any other question, please. Any other question?
Okay, sorry, let me just flip in this last one.
Okay.
Can I go ahead? Okay, I want to
go
ask,
on.
I also see, apart from what I complained about, that there are some things that you don't budget for. Maybe something can come up from anywhere, and you feel you have a leading. Though someone have told me that if you don't have, that there won't be any leading. So, but if you have, and there's a leading, so what do you advise? Do you advise that one should stick to that plan, or just, I don't know, sometimes this leading might be because you have. like someone told me that once if he doesn't have, there's no leading. But if you how do you attend to those leading that will never at any point can be
Okay.
packaged in a budget, or do you put miscellaneous inside the budget that should be able to?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Toby, you raise your hand.
So, at what point can we give comments?
So, at what points can you give comment? So after I have answered the questions, then other people can also bring comment. You can raise your comment.
Okay, I'll wait till then. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so let me start with the questions that Brother Benjamin asked. Now, your first question borders about how much should I save? I mean, is there a particular percentage of how much I'm supposed to save and all that? Now, if we want to go by standard, if we want to go by, I mean, what is feasible from the scripture, you should be able to set aside at least 10% of your income into a savings and investment every month. Right? But having said that, how much should I save? Sometimes will also be driven by what is my financial goal? What is my financial target? What is my savings target? What do I intend to achieve in 3 years' time? What do I intend to achieve in 5 years' time? And then look at what I earn today. How much do I need to set aside to be able to achieve this? Now that also drives how much you save and invest. Now, the reason why this is important is by the time you come to this point where you have articulated your financial expectations, your goal, your vision, what you need to fuel your vision, what you need to fuel your growth, and you discover that what I'm earning today, even if I keep earning what I'm earning today in the next 10 years, I mean, even if I save everything in the next 20 years, it's not going to be able to form this my goal and this my vision. That already is telling you that, guy, you need to do something about your earning capacity. And then, even though that is a different conversation, there are things you can do to increase your earning capacity so that you can outgrow the things that are challenges before you today. So how much should I save is determined by your goal, your financial target. If, for example, I said, there's something I want to do. Let's say I want to buy a home. I want to buy, I want to start a business. I need a laptop and I need to save for it for the next 6 months. There's a matter of asking myself, how much is this laptop? Okay, how much do I need to save now every week, every month, every day, every quarter for me to be able to gather enough money to get this asset I need to get? Your savings and investment can be driven by that. Right? Okay. Then you also did mention things around, what about you have done budget? I've done budget now for October, but October has not even gone anywhere. We're in the first week in October, like the budget is not budgeting anymore. The budget is already finishing and things like that. The first thing I would like to say to you with due humility and respect is that there is a deficiency in the way the budget is done. That means the budget did not consider some parameters, some things that you are meant to. Remember, I said that you should capture all your expenses, but you need to prioritize them. Right. Now, when you're not having pressure from family members, pressures from maybe in-laws, pressures from, people around you. Now, you need to trust God to come to a point where you'll be able to say no to some things. See, there are times that some things look as though they are really genuine and they are urgent. But I tell you, sometimes if you look through them very well, if you don't do them, nothing will happen at that time. So there's no point killing your vision, killing your future, killing your purpose in the guise of satisfying other people. Meanwhile, if you are able to take this step today, tomorrow you'll be able to help these people better. So sometimes you need to trust God for wisdom to be able to say no. No, before I have problem saying no to issues like this, but now I've learned. At least I have learned. And so you need to learn to be able to say no to some certain things, particularly when they are, when it's not that you plan for them. There are even times that you don't have the money, you go and borrow. Why? If you don't have the money sincerely, say, okay, family members, sincerely, we don't have this now at this time. Can we consider this so at some time when you believe you have the money? Because if you don't come to that point of telling yourself the reality, you go and borrow to give the money you don't have. Now, see, that borrowing already has also created an impression in their mind that you have. So every time they come, you go and borrow, you give it. So you create a fake perception that you have this resources that you do not really have. It's a tough decision to make, but I tell you, if you must experience financial freedom and also be able to help these same family people better tomorrow, you need to be able to come to a point of being able to say no. Now, when you talk about unbudgeted items, there are things that just pop up here and there, just pop up, boom, boom, boom. I think we didn't budget for that. An ideal budget should have what we call miscellaneums. I mean, those are things that you did not attach it to any particular item just to take care of things that may just come up like that. But if whatever comes up like that is something that is huge in nature and is not in your budget and you don't have the money, please don't go and borrow. I have told you what borrowing will do to you. Borrowing first is eating into the future money that you've not received. Because when that money comes, there's already a hole that the money will enter. The second thing that borrowing will do for you is you have created a false perception to those people that you have money, but you don't have. So if you must experience financial freedom, you need to break yourself free from that. You should be able to look and say, actually, we don't have this now. Please, can this wait at so time? If somebody is calling you and they say, okay, I want to pay rent now, and you want to go and borrow money to pay the rent now, it shows that both of you are not serious. Because nobody's rent becomes due now. You have 12 months to, when you pay this one, I know in the next 12 months, the rent will be due. And so the person did not take action or did not even tell you, oh, bro, my rent is getting due in 4 months, in 3 months. No, I don't really have anything you can help me. And then the person is now calling you, putting you under pressure. And you cannot tell the person, look, you see, I understand that you are under pressure to pay your rent, but if this information has gotten to me like 3 or 4 months ago, I would have planned towards it, but now I don't have anything. And you sincerely, you don't have. Then you ask the person to wait until you have. You don't need to die satisfying people while you are killing your own dream and the vision, even the good life that you desire for your own family. It's very important that we pay attention to this, right? Then, how do I increase my worth? Let me be selling something that I know that with this thing I'm selling, the value is worth more than how much I'm giving it to people. Now, that question is actually big because that is speaking to packaging, as you mentioned, is speaking to your market positioning. I mean, speaking to, do I really know who my customers are? Because if I know my customer, then I know the kind of item I should introduce to them. So if the item I'm giving to them, if they are not able to pay for it, I mean, I'm introducing that item to the wrong customer. So you need to know who truly your customers are. Sometimes you also need to do what we call market segmentation. You segment your market. You can have a same item that you are selling in a particular location for a certain amount. In another location, you are selling the same item at another to understand your customer. So, but this is like a topic on its own that it can take, I mean, several hours to deal with. But you need to look at your package, you need to look at your customer, understand your customers. Are you really sure that that thing you are marketing it to the right customer? Or you need
political people and
maybe you need to do some level of market segmentation and things like that. So, but that is just a little I will say about that. Then my employer has over deducted my money. So what is left for me to spend is very, very small. It's very, very small. And so I would like to be able to save from this. So two things I will say to you very quickly is number one, see, the concept that I want everyone to get from this conversation this evening is that even if your salary is 10,000 naira, to the extent that you have been living with that salary, it did not die, shows that if you remove 500 from that 10,000 and save it or put in an investment, you still will not die. But your tomorrow will thank you. Your future will thank you for taking that decision. Am I saying that it's going to be very easy and smooth to do? No. But is it necessary to do? Yes. Because by the time you do this thing consecutively for 6 months consecutively, see, your mind will adjust and accept whatever is left after you've taken what you save and invest as your income. Your mind will automatically will accept it. So if you must break through, you must set aside. And I've told you last time that it's not, first of all, about how much. No. It's about the discipline to be able to take out that amount on a regular basis and invest it or save it. That is what matters. And so that is the first thing I will say. The second thing I will say is that also is beginning to show you that
I'll log him up again.
Please, can you mute your mic? Sister Alison. Uncle Robert, we cannot hear you. Uncle Robert, you're muted.
Can you imagine? Okay, sorry, I didn't know I muted myself. So I was saying that, can you hear me now?
Yes, we stopped at the second thing.
Okay, so the second thing I would like to say is this, that if you are now at this point where whatever is given to you at the end of the month look meager, look very small, that cannot even take you home, so to say, that also begin to tell you that your earning capacity needs to increase. It means you need to now begin to think about other ways and other means to increase your earning potential, to increase your income. And I was saying that in this internet age, there are several ways, there are several things that you can do to earn. There are several things you can do to augment that income you earn on monthly basis, right? And I say that this conversation is not for today, but as we progress, maybe we'll get to that point when we talk about these various components and these various elements. But what I would like to say to you is these two things. Doing it is not by choice. It is a necessity. So the whole idea of the mindset I have been speaking to us today is you are not looking at your savings and investment as just an additional thing. You should look at it as the next most important thing to do after you're giving to God. The next most important thing to do after you're giving to God, if you are going to break free from this struggle, you need to take this bold decision. You need to take this bold step. And then you now need to start asking yourself, what are the other things I can do to increase my earning potential, to increase my earning capability? And so to also say again on the matter of budget getting eroded at the beginning of the month when the month has not even gone anywhere, I've mentioned earlier that it could mean that your budget is deficient the way it's done. It could also mean that you've done the budget, but you don't have the discipline to follow through your budget. And then another thing I would like to mention to you, so once a budget involves two entities, when I say two entities involved, like maybe there are two parties to it, either two brothers, a husband and a wife, or two sisters, or one brother and a sister, both of you need to understand and agree that this is the budget. This is what we intend to do this month. And we will agree to do as far as practicable to stick to it, except when it becomes practically impossible. And this practically impossible, please, it should not be always the external factors. We also need to agree that when it comes to this external factor, this is how we handle it. This is how we handle it. If somebody has not told you about rent, as I mentioned before, and the person just calling today, I need to pay today, or I need to pay tomorrow, or this week, and it depends on telling you before. It may look urgent, but it's not urgent. It's not, because you're just getting the information that you should have gotten six months, 7 months ago. So there's nothing urgent about it. Just that the person is not just serious to have planned. Except where there are exceptions. Maybe there are exceptions. Maybe something happened, the person had planned and something happened. Even then something happened, the person should just explain, okay, ABC happened. Even no matter how wicked your landlord is, if that thing that happened is, that contingency happened, at least they will still give you time. Nobody rents expire today and they kick you out today. I see they'll still give you some months or some weeks, even. And these are some of the things you need to look at so that nobody will push you to the wall. And then you are sacrificing your vision, your purpose on the premise of satisfying other people. So I think I've touched base with all the questions that have been asked. So if there's anyone I mentioned, I miss out, Toby, you can let me know. And then we can now take comment from people. Now your comment, maybe if there's any other further questions before we wrap up. Before I say my final word and then we wrap up.
Yes,
Toby, are you there now?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to say something.
Okay.
To Ben's question. See, the average human being is entitled. And nobody's more entitled than your family members. Who interestingly sit down, no, my brother has money, my uncle has money, my father has money. And people's idea of you having money is based on their understanding of money. So we just think that it is natural or it's the right thing to do to spend money that we did not properly steward. And whatever my husband is saying is things that he has been there before. So he's telling you from his own experience. So don't think he doesn't understand what you are saying. So it's to go back and in your budget, right? Apply giving to the budget. What percentage do you want to give out in a month? Once you have crossed that threshold of your giving, any other person that comes, I'm sorry, I can't give you at this time. Except God tells you, and God does that many times, and most times that's when he wants to disconnect your heart from your money, if money still has a hold over your heart. And then he will tell you, give some money to this, give some money to that. I've given out all of my we've given out all of our savings before because God asked us to do that. It does not mean that every time we give is because God asked us to give. There are things when we see from a place of obligation when it comes to family, yeah. So when it comes to family, we think from a place of obligation. But now to go and borrow to give are things we have done before and we know how it has beaten us. So no, it is not a wise thing to do. We'll borrow. I won't borrow to eat, but we'll borrow to give out because we think that's the right thing to do. So put in your budget how much you should give per month. And once you have crossed that threshold of giving, any other request that comes from left, right, and center, trust me, I have learned that you would give. People will tell you they don't have, but you will see them buying new clothes because that is where their priority lies. But they will not budget for their rent or budget for school fee. And then when it's time to school, they will not be sending you a message. You that you have managed yourself. So your own manager and budget, you now be. Do you understand? So when God actually told us, your giving, is it from a place of pity or it is God induced? And I've realized that most times when we do things, it's not because it's God. Whenever God gives you resources, He expects you to steward it properly. So if you are giving because they say, give and good measure, shaken together, then you are not being a proper steward of your finance. Learn to steward your money properly. And if you're struggling with learning how to steward your money properly, that is where you need a coach, and that is where you someone to hold your hand, a coach and a mentor. Yes, that's the word. A coach and a mentor. Just like you need a supervisor for your studies, and you need a financial planning for your investment. That is how you also need a coach, even to manage your money. So you find one, engage one, and learn how to steward your wealth.
Thank you very much, my wonderful wife. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, as she was speaking, the other thing I just want to chip into this again. So if this budget now involves two entities, one other thing that is very critical and fundamental is that the two entities, when it comes to the subject of money, both of you should strive to grow together. You need to strive to grow together so that you may not be at the same level of understanding and the same frequency, right? But when you are discussing some of these things, both of you can relate. Both of you can now agree, okay, yes, this principle, this is the way we should go. Because if one person is growing and the other person is not growing, it could also impact on how we are able to execute these things we are discussing. Thank you once again. Yes, Toby, let's take you now.
Hi, good evening, everybody. So I'd like to start this way. It's interesting and funny, though. Just some of my comments. Number one, I believe, you might not agree with me, but I know I'm the wealthiest person in this place. And I also know I have more debt than most people in this place. But the point is that my wealth is based on how much I give, the resources I have in terms of people and tools. So what I'm trying to say is that it's my mindset I'm telling you. So you don't have to agree, but it's just my mindset. So that I have debt doesn't mean I don't sleep at night. I sleep very well, more than most people say. Then I recently just finished a leave and I told Mrs. Abikaje that she should wake me up. Usually she'll wake me up. We're not in the same time zone, but usually she'll wake me up. But this time I told her that, see, if I tell you I'm up, don't answer me, it's a lie, yo. Until I tell you that I'm going out, don't believe me. So then I called that, okay, I'm on my way out. What am I trying to say? We have to acknowledge our flaws. We have to know and acknowledge our flaws, especially when it comes to, financial matters. So that way we are accountable and we get people that we make sure that we're accountable to. So like Mrs. Abika just said, you can get a coach, you can get someone to keep you accountable of your finances. Then the last thing I would like to say is that I give a lot. Before, I used to borrow to give. I think Mrs. Abikaji is well aware of this. I borrow to give. And one of the things I discovered in my journey with God in the last 2 years is that I wasn't even giving, I was giving for myself. It wasn't about God. And as I've been working with God, one of the things I discovered in my journey is that He prepares me to give. I do more of paying rent on a monthly basis. So when He tells me, get more foodstuffs or get more things this month, I'm like, okay. When I'm collecting my next salary and He tells me, give this a certain amount of money, I give it. I don't struggle to give because I'm well prepared for it. So planning and discipline is just part of the giving. Any giving that is not, I mean, you can give people things, is awesome to give people, but also it's very important to make sure that the Holy Spirit allows you to give, and not just give for our own ego's sake or because we want to look good to people. Thank you very much. I think those are my comments.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toby. Thank you for your input. Thank you very much. Yeah, any other question before I say my final remark, and then we try to wrap up? Any other question, any comment? Anybody want to ask any question? I'm not seeing any question in the chat box. I'm not seeing anybody's hand up. So should I take that to mean there are no further questions so that we can try and wrap up? Right. Okay. Okay. So thank everyone for making our time to be here. Like I see something dropped in the chat box. I don't know what the person is. I've not opened it. I don't know what the person is saying. Toby, help me look at it. As we look at that.
Someone said me. Samuel. Me. Yeah.
So, okay, now you say me. Is it that you want to ask a question? I would like to say something. Okay, you want to say something? Okay, let's hear what you want to say very quickly before I wrap up. Go on, Samuel.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for this webinar. I've actually learned a whole lot. And what I want to just say has to do with the mindset shift concerning how we understand financial freedom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So when you were explaining that it should be in line with God and our purpose, I just want to add to that my own understanding of it, probably to also help the class to make the change easier. That rather than seeing money as this thing that, of course, in society, it's very heavily rumored to be something so scarce and so difficult to work with, to find, that we should see it instead as something that will follow you as long as you are following your purpose, and that money is not supposed to be seen as like a master or above us, and we have to in quotes suffer so much for a little bit of it. But instead, okay, you focus on, okay, what next step do I need to take in my purpose right now? Pray to God about it, and just be open to receiving it. And when it comes, to now understand that we are in control of it. No matter how out of control it might seem, especially let's say we've not really built that much discipline with it, it's something that can be learned. I am talking again because of the heavy feelings and emotions I sense people have around money, that it is not supposed to be above us. You are in control, and your worth is not really by how much is in your bank account. To also remind ourselves on a daily basis that you are already worthy. The fact that you are alive, you don't need millions to ascertain your worth. You are already worthy and already wealthy as well, because you have good health, you have family, you have fresh air. To be grateful for these things, and with time you really start to see it also multiplying when it comes to money from places you can't even tell. But as long as you are doing it, you are in purpose, and you are, we are all here. I think we're doing great already. The fact that we even joined this place, but for whatever things we might still have to do, we are capable of it, no matter how difficult it will be, like at the start. That's really what I want to share.
Right. Thank you very much for that perspective and the things you've said. And for those who were here in the last session, I think some of the things you mentioned about what money is and what money is not, we also discussed them. And even today, I've mentioned the fear of them. So thank you, everyone, for showing up for yourself. First of all, again, you might have several other things that maybe you would have utilized this time to do, but you're here. But we want to encourage everyone, and this is where I want to draw this to a close, that everyone on this call who is really serious, you're truly serious about starting this journey to financial freedom. And I've said that you need to document your first financial plan. And I say the basic one that everybody should do is budget. At least have a budget that spelled out what your income is or what your incomes are, and then your expenses. And this should include, even if you capture your giving, your tithe, to capture what you intend to save and what you intend to invest. And I've told us that if you truly are serious about this, the order of sequence, the sequence should be God first, my future or my vision next, which has to do with your savings and your investment, and then plan your expense on what is left. That should be the order. So now I would like to ask us, for those of us that are still on the call, how many of us are going to be committed to doing this for yourself? You're not doing it for me, you do it for yourself. I want to see your response on the chat box. One of the evidence that shows that you are committed and you desire a change for your finances is that you are practically taking the steps. So how many of us will commit from this session to say, me, I will go back home, I will document my first financial plan. It need not be perfect. So how many of us are making that commitment? I want to see your response in the chat box. Can you just say me or I in the chat box? Okay, I can see I will, I am ready, me. Okay. I want to thank you to those who have responded and are seriously saying, I am ready, I'm going to do this. God bless you. Don't sleep over it. Get into it. Document everything. Now, it needs not be perfect at the first attempt. And I've also told us, if you want to send to me, okay, Robert Ben say the eyes have it. Thank you. If you want to send to me privately what you've documented, if you want me to see it and give you my own input, give my own advice, I can do that. At least for this early start, I can do that for us, for this early start. But you also need to understand that I also have a lot of commitment. So if I'm giving this commitment to look at what you've documented, you should know that it's because I am seriously committed to this course. I'm seriously committed to see everybody in this community coming out better. Because the whole idea, as I told us, is you might not have become a millionaire or a billionaire by the end of 2025. That is in about 2 months plus. But getting into 2026, if you are following these things you are doing like a joke or like play here, a very definite focus that will transform your life into 2026. So it's not just about a New Year resolution now. You already have something you set in place, something in motion that is going to work and aligning with your vision. So thank you again for those who have taken that decision. But as I said, if you want to reach out after you've done it, or maybe you are struggling to be able to can't do it properly, you can reach out. I will find times to respond to you at this early stage. Now, this kind of opportunity might not be available for a long period of time, but I really want to get people to start this journey. And that's why I'm willing to, take the pain and open myself up for you to be able to, ask your questions, send whatever you've done to me, and then I'll look at it. I'll give you my advice. I tell you further things you need to do. So having said that, I would like to thank everyone, and I also would like to particularly thank my wife, who has always, been the host for this webinar for me, using the vehicle that she champions as Finfora partners. Thank you, thank you. I'll appreciate you for that, and I am grateful, and I want to thank every one of us who make our time to be here today. So we'll see you again in the next webinar. So the next webinar, I will communicate and announce the dates to us on the group, but keep your eye on the group. Now, the recording for this will also likely be posted on the group so that you can find time to listen to it again. Like the last one, myself, personally, I watched that recording 2 times just to ensure that I'm also learning from what I'm saying, and then I also want to improve as we progress. So when the recording is ready, we'll drop it on the group. Do well to go over it again. And don't leave any stone. Don't leave anything undone. I beg you. And don't say, I will do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week. Get to it as soon as you have the allowance now. On that note, I would like to thank you once again for your time, and do have a wonderful night. Thank you all, and bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Christy.